Let me make sure we got everything lined up right. You feel me? Hope y'all can hear me well. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Let me get my chat up and running. Contender regime boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? What's happening, man? What's going on? What's happening? We gonna chop it up. You feel me? Another random pop-up live. You know, make sure you hit the like button as you slide through. I appreciate it. You did what I'm saying. We finna chop it up, man, and talk about some boxing. I know I ain't hopped on here and chopped it up with y'all in a minute. Shout out to my brother D Luckett. You know what I'm saying? Coming through already in the chat, man. You feel me? It's a storm out here in Dallas, Texas, man. It's crazy. If y'all on the road listening to this live, make sure y'all being careful and safe. You know, it's raining out there, it's hailing, and the wind kind of crazy. So I hope y'all being safe, man. Shout out to the brother Bo Edwards in the building, man. Shout out to Mississippi in the building, man. What's good? What's happening? You dig what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's been a lot of news happening lately in the sport. Been some fights announced. So I definitely want to, touch on a few topics with y'all, kind of see how y'all been, feeling about the fights that's been getting announced. We ain't really had an opportunity to just have like an open forum and just chop it up about everything that's been going on over the last couple of months. So definitely want to do that. Shout out to my OG Mr. Munt in the building. Hey, make sure y'all subscribe to the OG Mr. Munt. Excellent. Y'all see what the type of information and the jewels that he be dropping in the chat over here. He dropping that same game on his channel as well. So make sure y'all go over there and fuck with the OG Mr. Munt. Shout out to the brother and Still TV in the building. What's good? Shout out to my brother G5 Gabe. Hashtag TWT in the building, man. Salute, bro. I appreciate you for pulling up. Shout out to my brother Sterling Jameson in the building. What's good? Said it's lit. I got Devin for luck. Said I'm looking at India Love. Bro, you wild. That man said I'm looking at India Love News. Bro, you a wild boy. You a wild boy. You know what I'm saying? Dev had to put something pretty on his arm, man. Just just for the image. You know what I'm saying? Just for the look. But yeah, so Devin Haney, it's a couple of things we want to talk about. Hey, subscribe to my brother G5 Gabe as well. You feel me? Always dropping some good shit on his boxing channel. Shout out to the brother Jeff Bennett in the building. What's good? Said what we talking about. Devin will lose to Loma. Ooh, that's a good take. Lomachenko, Lomachenko can fight. I think that's why we wanted to see this fight, because we always, at least me, I always thought it was a good fight. So that's why I wanted to see this fight. It's been a long time coming. Devin Haney just announced on May. He said that the fight is going to be May 20th. It's official. I think the only thing that they haven't ironed out is a venue and a location, which most likely going to be Vegas. But I know that Devin Haney and a host of other boxers were over in Saudi Arabia this past weekend for the Jake Paul and Tommy Fury fight, right? So he said that he's willing to have that fight over there. So, and from the way the prince over there in Saudi Arabia, the way he was talking to Devin Haney, holding him at a high regard, and it seemed like he respected him a lot, and they would really love to have Devin Haney defend his undisputed titles over in Saudi Arabia. So, and plus, of course, Devin Haney is Muslim. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's like a home fight for him. You dig what I'm saying? So I think that would be cool. But May 20th is the date. May 20th. And seems like Lomachenko finally pulled his pants up, man, and quit bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? Get ready to strap his work belt on. You feel me? Get his toolbox and go to work. He been slow gassing and dragging his feet all this time, signing the contract, saying that he wanted more money, trying to put all these stipulations on Devin Haney, which I don't understand why people feel like it's cool to do that. with Devin Haney being an undisputed champion. You dig what I'm saying? But motherfuckers gonna have to bow down and kiss the ring. But now this is that opportunity for Devin Haney to really to make that statement, to show everybody that this man been ducking and dodging me. You know what I'm saying? To show everybody that I was always that superior fighter that I claimed to be, and I was always willing to fight the best. So it's a lot to be said about this fight. There's a lot of things that I think we can all expect. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect Lomachenko to go in there and lay down, because this would ultimately, I think this would be Lomachenko's last opportunity at a world title. I think it'll be his last opportunity to fight one of these young undefeated guys. And really, I ain't gonna say that because he could turn into gatekeeper status, but I'm gonna say this is gonna be his last time where he still got some of that prime left in him to really compete at this level and really make that statement. So I think Lomachenko gonna really bring his best. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna see what we gonna see if he still got something in the tank. You know what I'm saying? But I'm expecting a great action-packed fight. You dig what I'm saying? I'm expecting Lomachenko to test Devin Haney, to make Devin Haney do some things that we haven't seen him have to do in the ring yet. We know Lomachenko can really fight going forward off the back foot. Well, I mean, honestly, we haven't really seen Loma just fight off the back foot like that. So I think Devin Haney can have some success later in the fight if he decides to come forward on Lomachenko. You know, but Loma really like to come forward and like crash the pocket and give you angles on the inside and really like confuse fighters and hit them from different angles, getting leverage on guys. That's what Lomachenko like to do. He like to get fighters off balance and catch them in vulnerable positions where they can't defend themselves. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how can Loma get beyond that jab of Devin Haney, see how can he crash the pocket. It's going to be an interesting fight. It's going to be an interesting fight, and we're going to do an in-depth breakdown on that, of course. Once the fight, I'm going to say like a couple of weeks close to the fight, and then we'll do an official prediction. I think y'all all know who I'm riding with in that fight just at first glance. Also, we got the David Benavidez and Caleb Plant fight coming up. I really want to know who y'all got in that fight. We haven't really just done a breakdown on that, but we got a breakdown on that coming soon. I want to know who y'all got winning that fight. We have Stephen Fulton versus Naoya Inoue. That's a hell of a fight. That right there is going to be a statement fight for both guys. I really want to see how people treat Stephen Fulton if he can pull that victory off. Because I had so many people reach out to me saying, bro, you need to make videos on Naoya Inoue, the monster. You know, why you never talk about the monster? You know, I've spoke on him a couple of times, but I want to know if Stephen Fulton beats him, is them same people going to be asking me to make a mass amount of videos about Stephen Fulton. Shout out to the brother MJ's Total Health and Wellness in Richmond in the building. Salute to you, brother. I appreciate you for pulling up, man. Salute. I want to know, Sterling Jameson said that jab going to kill him. Big facts. Big facts. I think that's going to be Devin Haney's calling card in that fight versus Lomachenko. Keep him at bay. Keep that jab in his face. Go to the head and to the body, of course. And make Lomachenko have to take risks. Make him fight like I think, you know, Devin Haney want to get up on the cards early, but make him fight like how he did towards the second half of that Teofimo Lopez fight, in which he was winning those rounds, but he was taking risks. Make Lomachenko take risks. I think that's how Devin Haney beat him. Frustrate him, make him take risks. But yeah, if Stephen Fulton pulls off the win versus Inoue, I want to see how he's received by the public. I want to see how Fulton is received by the media. You know what I'm saying? I want to see if people gonna be asking me to make videos about him. I want to see if they gonna put him in their top 5 pound for pound, because a lot of these mainstream media outlets have Naoya Inoue like number 1, number 2, number 3. So I want to see if they hold Stephen Fulton to that same regard. We also have Tony Harrison versus Tim Tszyu. Tony Harrison packing his luggage and going overseas to fight Tim Tszyu, going to Australia to fight Tim Tszyu in his home country. You dig what I'm saying? That's another thing. That's another thing. So I'm really loving what I'm seeing as far as fights getting announced. We really have a lot to look forward to this year. I know everybody is still waiting on Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. I want to touch on some things that I've been hearing and seeing in regard to Errol Spence and why I think he has an announcement coming up real soon. Shout out to the OG Mr. Month. He said, Loma, a mid-range to inside fighter who has to establish lead foot dominance in order for him to use angles on Dev, but Dev's feet are too fast. I totally agree. I totally agree. But I think that's going to be, Mr. Munt, that's going to be the interesting, that's one of the most interesting like aspects of that fight that I'm going to be paying attention to is how does Loma close that distance and get, because I don't think he actually wants to fight Devin Haney at mid-range, at least not for the most of the fight. I know that's what he predominantly likes to do, but I think he's going to want to get as close to Devin Haney as possible and try to rough him up. But how does he gain that lead foot dominance? How does he, cut that distance? Because Loma is one of the best fighters when it comes to crashing the pocket and taking away your distance. He does that very well. So I think Devin Haney is going to have a task to stay disciplined, keep that jab out there, be sharp, be fast. I think he needs to be first with the jab, and then in between punches, every now and then, do your counter punches and do your countering as well. But I think primarily he want to be first with that jab, try to frustrate Lomachenko and get him off his rhythm. Said Fulton fought Figueroa in the box and did his thing. He definitely outclasses Inoue and silences the critic. I think so too. Again, we're going to break down that fight in depth, but I really like Stephen Fulton's chances in that fight. I think Stephen Fulton is a vastly underrated and underappreciated fighter. Shout out to the brother BC in the building. What's good? Said, what's good, 10? Columbus, Ohio, back in this bitch. Shout out to Columbus, Ohio. He said, can't wait to see DH do his thing and get his deserved respect. Big facts, bro. Big facts. I think, man, this is a prime opportunity for Devin Haney. I don't think anybody has really completely dominated Lomachenko. We saw the Teofimo Lopez fight in the first 6 rounds. Loma didn't really throw no punches. Now, that's his fault. I'm not making no excuses for him, but he didn't throw no punches. Like, it seemed like he was either injured like he said he was, or he was afraid of the power from Lopez. Whatever it was, he put out an abysmal first 6 rounds in that fight. Came back in the second half of the fight and did his thing, but it wasn't enough. But he didn't get dominated in that fight. He was just too passive. In the fight versus, what's my boy name? Orlando Salido. He did whoop Loma ass. I ain't gonna lie. Now, I ain't gonna just sit up here and, even though y'all know how I feel about Lomachenko, I'm not finna sit up here and just act like Orlando Salido just outclassed Loma and shit. He didn't, but he roughed him up and made the shit dirty, and he got on his ass. He won that fight. But I haven't seen anybody completely outclass Lomachenko, dominate him, convincingly beat him to the point where it's like, bruh, this guy's just simply a more skilled fighter. I think this is an opportunity for Devin Haney to do that. Shout out to my brother D Luckett in the building. What's good? He said, Loma will have to take a lot of chances. With Devin not having a lot of power, Loma will be getting risky. I agree. And that's another thing that makes Devin Haney fun to watch for me. A lot of people call him boring, but I think his lack of power actually makes him exciting because guys are willing to take risks on him because they don't feel like he can punch. So at that point, I'm looking at Devin Haney like a magician. I'm like, damn, how he gonna get out of this one? You know what I'm saying? What tactics, what chess moves he gonna use to get out of this one? What type of game plan did they establish? What type of adjustments can he make once guys start realizing, hey, I can take his power. Let me be a little bit more aggressive Let me try to cut some of this distance down, maybe take a couple of jabs or a lead left hook to get on the inside and see what I can do. See how he likes it there. Now, I do think that Devin Haney has continuously improved as an inside fighter. He's not Errol Spence, but he has continued to improve, and that's going to be interesting to see. Said Loma, Shakur, and Frank Martin do that better than most. When you say, oh yeah, establishing, excuse me, crashing the pocket and establishing lead foot dominance, I agree. Frank Martin, Frank Martin, really, you can tell that, of course, he's well coached by the best trainer in boxing. But you can tell that Frank Martin done seen some Lomachenko tape. You could tell he watched some Lomachenko tape. It's to the point where I think Frank Martin done took some shit from Loma and mastered it better than he do. And I think that he's more athletic and more physically strong, more physically gifted than Loma. I think he got better hand speed. I think he got more punching power. And I think he's just as intelligent with a better coach. You dig what I'm saying? So that's going to be hard for a lot of fighters to deal with, guys like Frank Martin, especially, and Shakur too. Shakur does that well. Shakur knows how. I think Shakur controls distance better than anybody in the sport. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson is, I think I'll have to give him the crown when it comes to distance control. You know what I'm saying? He's right. He gotta be number one. And he controls that he always establishes lead foot dominance. Shakur is great at doing that. That's one of the reasons why he don't have to move a lot. It's funny that people will look at a guy like Shakur and say he's boring because of a lack of punching power, but Shakur really be right in front of dudes the whole fight. Go back and watch the Robson-Conceição fight. I mean, go back and watch any fight. Go back and watch the Oscar Valdez fight. Shakur literally is right there in front of guys. The thing is that he's mastered distance so much is that he creates an illusion for his opponent to where they think he's close enough to hit, but really he not. But he close enough to hit your ass though. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be looking for stuff like that. I think Frank Martin definitely has that. I think Devin Haney has that. Maybe not to the extent of Shakur Stevenson, but he definitely has really good distance control. And that's going to have to be on display versus Loma. Says Shakur is the most balanced fighter in boxing. It's hard to disagree with that, Mr. Monk. It's hard to disagree because, I mean, he gives you a perfect combination of offense and defense. He's never just going to be on defense. And he's never going to neglect his defense neither. Shakur Stevenson he might be the most balanced fighter in the sport. Definitely in that division. You know what I'm saying? He going to give you a steady dose of both. And that's dangerous because you really don't know, like, it's hard to prepare for that because at any moment he can run off a 4 or 5 punch combination if he want to. And then he could also, make a fighter reluctant to really throw shit because of how good his defense is. And when he's making you miss and making you pay with just 1 or 2 shots at a time. But them 1 or 2 shots at a time be stinging motherfuckers. And they hurt worse when you out of position and you can't defend yourself because you done threw an errant punch and you out of fucking position. And he hit your ass flush with some stiff. So that makes it real tough. Said his transition between offense and defense is flawless. Facts. Shout out to the brother Jay's in the building. What's good? Said contender, not to be off topic, but you will be comfortable putting money on Tony Harrison in this fight? Yes, I would. Because he's gonna be the underdog in this fight. And I'm not saying I would bet the house, but yes, I would definitely put some money on Tony Harrison. Absolutely. That's where you're gonna get the bang for your buck. I wouldn't bet on Tim Tszyu in that fight. I wouldn't bet on Tim Tszyu at all because, in my opinion, it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they got him as what odds they got him as the favorite right now. But I think Tony Harrison matches up really well with him, and I think you can win some money off Tony Harrison. You know what I'm saying? Now, the only thing is that he is fighting in Australia, and there is always a possibility of a robbery. But if everything goes according to plan, as far as the judges being fair, then I think Tony Harrison can outbox Tim Tszyu and really like put on a masterclass. Because that's what Tim Garcia was doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he wasn't. I don't think he was doing it to the level of what Harrison can do. But you know, he definitely had some success versus Tim Tszyu. Shout out to the brother 817, aka Mr. Talk Too Much in the building. Salute, man. I appreciate you for pulling up, man. What's good? Said Shakur is elite, but DA's footwork and jab are the equalizers. That's gonna be a hell of a fight. I can't wait for that one. I would love to see. Now, here's the thing though. After Devin Haney beats, I know Bill Haney came out and said that they're not planning on leaving 135 this year. We'll see how true that is after he fights Lomachenko. We'll see how he feels after that fight. But that's going to be a hell of a fight because, and I think it does matter if it happens at 135 or if it happens at 140. I would love to see it happen at 35 for all the belts. It makes that fight that much more big. It puts, you know, more things at stake. I mean, I think that's just an incredible fight versus two of the most premier young champions in the sport. However, I'm not mad at that fight happening at 40. The only thing with that is it'll prolong the fight happening because I know Shakur is going to want to get his rocks off at 135. He's not finna just come in and have a couple of fights and then move up. So I think that it really just depends on how Devin feel after this fight with Loma. And if he feels good at 135, he go out there and beat Loma. I want to see that fight next at 35. If the Tank Davis fight don't happen. I believe, in my opinion, that Tank Davis would be the priority if Tank is indeed interested in that fight after he gets past Ryan Garcia. I think Haney and Tank would be the priority. But if for whatever reason they can't make that fight, I want to see Devin versus Shakur. Great fight. Great fight. Said Tony H getting it done, but good point on a possible robbery. Yeah, man. Shout out to the brother. He said, and still said bet one Harrison and the draw. Yeah, I can see that too. You know what I'm saying? Bet one for Harrison and then shit, one for a draw. I can see that. I can see Harrison doing enough to win on the cards, but maybe Tim Tszyu land a few big shots and they find a way to call it a draw, even though from the eye test and from what we see that night, I think we'll see enough to say that Tony Harrison won. It's a lot of things to consider with them fighting in Australia. It's a lot to consider, but I think Tony Harrison is the more skilled fighter, and that's who I expect to be able to impose their style. Said I want to see Tank actually fight an elite black fighter for 110. I agree, bro. You know, I totally agree. You know what I'm saying? And see, this the thing. I believe Tank can handle pretty much anybody in and around his division. But we just want to see it. I'm just like you, bro. You know, I think it's a 50-50 fight. I will lean towards Tank versus really anybody at 135, 140. Anybody between 130 and 140, I would have to give Tank. I would have to give Tank Davis the edge. But I just want to see the fights. Tank versus Regis Prograis, great fight. Tank versus Devin Haney, great fight. Tank versus Shakur Stevenson, great fight. It's so many fights out there for Tank Davis. So I understand he got options and he's exploring those. And I want to see what he do versus Ryan Garcia. You know, what is it? April, they moved the date. What is it? April 22nd now? For Tank and Ryan Garcia. Somebody put the date in the chat for the Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia fight. Said I want to see Tank versus Frank Martin. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great fight, bro. Shout out to my brother Texas Rock in the building. What's good, bro? Appreciate you for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? My brother Tex Rock got a YouTube channel as well, man, doing breakdowns. Y'all make sure y'all fuck with Tex Rock on his channel as well. Said April 22nd? Okay, bet. Yeah, bro, like, I'm ready to see that fight. I probably have a different opinion as most people. Like, a lot of people feel like that fight is real close. You know, a lot of people think that the Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia fight is 50-50. I'm not one of those people. You know what I'm saying? D Lucky say he got Harrison next weekend. Me too. Me too. Me too. I'm a before I actually do like the in-depth analysis and breakdown, I'm gonna go back and watch more film of both Harrison and Tim Tszyu, even though I've seen them fight on different occasions. Just to kind of get, you know, my last little look before I make that final prediction. But I'm rolling with Harrison as of right now. You know, I just think he's a more skilled fighter. Shout out to the brother Mike G in the building. What's good, man? Says salute regime. Always covering big boxing news. Can't wait for that fight. Yes, sir. I can't wait, bro. I cannot wait. That's gonna be an incredible fight. It's a lot of fights that I'm looking forward to, man. I want to get y'all thoughts too on a few fights. He said, if Tank fight Martin, what plan would Derek and Earl have for Tank, and would he be able to implement it? I think I believe that Derek James will be able to game plan and give Frank Martin a solid strategy versus Tank. Now, of course, he still got to get in there and make the shit happen. It's a tough. I think it's a tough fight for both guys. You know, I would lean towards Tank versus anybody at 135, but I think Frank Martin can win that fight. Said whoever think hey, A17 said whoever thinks Ryan got more of a 1% chance, let me borrow 50. He said, let me borrow $50 to the 33rd. In other words, you ain't getting your money back. Bruh. Hey, look, a lot of people think Ryan Garcia gonna win that fight. A lot of people think he gonna win that fight, man. A lot of people think Ryan Garcia is gonna win that fight. And a lot of people, if they don't think Ryan Garcia gonna win, there's a lot of people that believe that that fight is very competitive. Like, very competitive. I've had people tell me, like, bruh, Ryan just better than Tank. And I asked them to explain how, but, you know, they just say, you know, he pretty and he got power. Whatever that means. Shout out to the brother Big Mike, Real Talk TV in the building. What's good? Appreciate you for pulling up, my brother. What's good? Said Ryan got a chance. He got some popping speed. Definitely got a chance. That's what make him dangerous. If he didn't have that, if he didn't have those natural attributes, I mean, I don't even think this fight would be a thing. I don't even people would ever even call for this fight. But the fact that he has those raw attributes, that makes him dangerous. There's an unknown factor, right? Again, I'm in the video that I made like last week. I said I tried to explain, like, bruh, we haven't even seen Ryan Garcia in the ring versus a world champion. We have never even seen Ryan Garcia fight for a world title, let alone fight somebody of the caliber of a Tank Davis. I think the jump that Ryan Garcia, and look, this ain't got shit to do about him not being ready or nothing like that. Look, he been ducking and dodging fights for years now, and it's time. But the reality of the situation is that the jump that Ryan Garcia is making from his previous competition to Tank is like this. It's like it's a big ass jump. A big jump. And I stand on what I said. As far as skills, I think Ryan Garcia fighting, I think Tank Davis fighting Hector Garcia and then fighting Ryan Garcia is actually going down from a skill perspective. I think Hector Garcia was a more skilled fighter. I think he was a more experienced fighter. I think he just a better boxer. Now, he didn't have those same natural attributes that Ryan Garcia have, but I just think Tank Davis been here before. He may have not fought anybody exactly like Ryan Garcia, but he's fought better fighters. You know what I'm saying? He's fought better fighters. Said, I hope the odds makers think Ryan has a good chance as well. Facts, because I'm putting all my money on Tank Davis. I would love, I know this ain't gonna happen. I know Vegas, I know Vegas ain't this crazy. I would love for Ryan Garcia to be the favorite in that fight so we can all get rich. Shout out to the brother Dev son Andre in the building. What's good, man? Appreciate you for pulling up. Said Rolly Romero was doing really well. Yeah, he was doing good, but I mean, all right, let me say he was coming forward and he was having a little bit of success with the jab here and there, and then kind of closing spacing for Tank. But I wouldn't even say that he landed anything significant. I can't really say that he put Tank in vulnerable situations. I honestly think Tank was just lining him up for that shot. He was just setting him up for that shot. I think Tank knew that that shot was going to be there. I think he knew that shot was going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it said Tank let Rolly get away with shit. Yeah, like, I think he knew that Tank, that shot was going to be there. Said, contender going I said, you said I'm articulated and I can't even say the word. Look, said contender going articulate it properly. Said, I'm going to say it akin to my name. That motherfucker taking this fight for career validation and a profile pull-up just like his hero Cinnamon did. That's a fact. I agree too. I don't want to say that. I think Ryan feels like it's either now or never. You feel me? I think he believes somewhere in his heart that he can win that fight. But I think deep down he knows like this a huge task for him. He knows. But like you said, 817, this is for validation for Ryan Garcia. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You know, is it to really prove he the best? You know, is he really taking this fight to prove he the best? Or if he just trying to raise his Instagram followers up some more? You know, but whatever his reasoning behind taking this fight is, I'm glad that he finally stepped up and finally pushed for the fight. And I'm glad that Oscar is finally like listening to his guy and saying, all right, look, you want to get your ass in there and get knocked the fuck out? Well, go ahead. You know, we done got as much money as we can get up out you at least for right now, you know, and they still gonna be, you know, they still gonna be able to sell him as a knockout artist, even after he get knocked out by Tank, they still gonna be able to sell Ryan Garcia as a knockout artist. You know, somebody who, you know, who can bring in some revenue. You know, at least on a, you know, on a B plus A minus level, he'll still be able to demand a certain type of crowd. Shout out to the brother Ernie V in the building. What's good? Salute. Said, shout out to my brother Eric R in the building. What's good, man? Said, if Ryan listened to the posts of his peers, deep down, he know he gonna get fucked up. Yeah. Yep, I agree. Man. I think Ryan Garcia is going into this fight with a level of confidence like, all right, I know I got speed. I know I got power. I know I be beating up these dudes in sparring. And these lower level guys that I've been in the ring with on a pro level, I've been able to win. So I know he's going in with a level of confidence. But I also think he realizes that he might have some bubble guts walking to the ring. He might have bubble guts walking to the ring. And if he got them bubble guts and he ain't careful, Tank hit him with a body shot in the ring, he gonna shit on himself. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shout out to the brother Captain in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said, salute, G. Man, salute to you, bro. I appreciate you for pulling up. I appreciate you. Said he finna get hurt. He don't have a lick of confidence in a victory. Said, I think Adames might hurt J-Rock. Is that fight official? The Adames and J-Rock fight is official? And it's at 160? Is that fight official, y'all? Said that. Hey, A17, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if Ryan Garcia didn't come out the locker room. Real talk. Because I don't think a lot of people understand what's at stake. It ain't just losing your it's embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? All the shit you done talked. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. So, okay, so that fight is official. Hey, man, Adames, you right. I'm going to break that fight down. I think Adames, yeah, I like Adames a lot in that fight. Now, J-Rock ain't no hoe. We know he chinny. We know sometimes even when the game plan working, he take unnecessary risks. We know that. And I think that's what's going to bite him in the ass. But J-Rock ain't no hoe now. We seen what he did when it was time to stud up versus Swift. Jared Swift Hurd. You know what I'm saying? We seen what he did. Rose to the occasion, became unified champion. So it's gonna be a good fight, but I do believe Adame is just too much for him. Shout out to the OG, Mr. Munt, in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said Ryan hasn't fought anyone with Tank reflexes. Facts. Said just imagine if Tank used angles against Ryan. Slow feet. Lucky for Ryan, Tank don't use angles. You know what? Tank don't use angles often, but I believe that he has the capabilities, and I think that might be something. I'm hoping that's something that him and Coach Calvin has been working on. Because I was watching Ryan Garcia versus Fortuna, and I'm like, bruh, and this is Ryan Garcia, you know, recently, even with a new coach in Joe Guzman. He's still like super stiff up top. Like everything for Ryan Garcia is just, you know what I'm saying? Like everything just up top like this. You feel me? And he don't really move his feet a lot. And he don't got a lot of like head moving and fluidity. Everything is just, you know, I told y'all in that video, I said from the shoulders, like from here to the neck, the shoulders move good. He can throw them punches. And he can throw them bitches to the body too. You know he love the left hook. I see him on Instagram working on it all the time. You know, that's my favorite punch. I love the left hook. You know what I'm saying? But that, I mean, he gonna need more than that, bro. Like, for a guy like Tank, Tank is one of the most athletic fighters. He's one of the most gifted fighters on the planet. So you just gotta have something different to be able to get in and get one over on Tank. You gotta have something different, man. And I just don't know if Ryan Garcia got it. I don't know if he got it. Outside of him landing a freak power punch that Tank don't see, I can't see it, man. I can't see it. Yeah, he need to be more relaxed. I agree, D Lucky. I agree. I think Ryan Garcia has become a product or maybe a victim of his own like natural gifts. Sometimes guys, when you got power, when you got hand speed, you just rely on that shit because that's what's been getting you by for so long. But I see what other people see in Ryan Garcia from a potential perspective. I see that, but he's not there yet. He's not there yet. Shout out to the brother. Man, you know I'm gonna just call you P. Shout out to my brother P in the building, man. You know I always. Hold on, hold on. He done said it. He done said it for me. Hold on, I'm looking at your name, and you done said in the chat. He said, "My guy, what the dang deal? You know I'm in here, and remember, it's so lyric." Yo, I'm over here talking about how I can't say your name. And you telling me how to say your name. Soul Lyric. Shout out to my brother Soul Lyric in the building, man. You done got all exotic with the spelling of your name. I'm like, damn, you always fuck me up with your name, bro. But salute to you for coming in. I appreciate it, bro. But let's switch gears real quick, man. Let's talk about Errol the True Spence Jr. Because I think that we're going to get an announcement really soon. I know there's been kind of like some up and down as far as the news that's been coming out about Errol Spence and who he's going to fight. It's been Keith Thurman. People saying, you know, the whole spectrum shit that I didn't really speak on because at this point, I'm not announcing no type of, I'm not announcing no fights that's not official, especially when promoters and fighters have been moving the goalpost time after time. I'm not announcing no fights that's not official, right? So that whole Spectrum shit, that shit don't mean nothing to me until they actually get that shit ironed out. And I see both fighters come out and agree that they want to fight, that the fight is about to be next, right? But just from the aspect of what we think might happen, and what I've been saying. So I know y'all have been seeing people post like videos of Errol Spence being back in the gym training. Today I saw him. I saw Alex Holly. Shout out to Lex. Alex Holly from DeSoto said it's gonna be against Bud Watts. Think about it. Listen, D Lucky. Here's the thing. Now we know Terrence Crawford has the mandatory that was ordered by the WBO. We're gonna talk about that too. But I did see Errol Spence on Alex Holly's Instagram, and if y'all know, Marvelous Jarvis Shepard, also a fighter from Dallas, he trains Alex Holly, and Alex Holly pretty much looks up to both Marvelous Jarvis Shepard and Earl the True Spence Jr., all these guys from Dallas, right? These are guys that Alex Holly, who is an up-and-coming fighter, y'all seen me talk about him. Go watch shorts that I posted on him in the shorts category. This guy is a major talent coming out of DeSoto, Texas. Incredible talent. He's going to be a big deal. But he posted on his Instagram a small video of Errol Spence and Marvelous Jarvis sparring today. And he was like, you know, watching these two guys go at it is like watching my two big brothers. You know what I'm saying? The reason, and D Lucky, going back to your point, the reason why I would think that you on point with that is because Marvelous Jarvis is a southpaw. And Errol Spence, if he's getting ready for Keith Thurman, I don't think he would be sparring a southpaw. Now, maybe he's just staying sharp and, you know, being able to, you know, stay ready and prepare for anybody. Maybe he's sparring orthodox fighters on this day. And then because of course, Bud is a switch hitter, but maybe he's sparring orthodox fighters and he's sparring southpaws. But I noticed that, shout out to the brother Big Tex 33 in the building, what's good? I'm like, okay, so if he's fighting Keith Thurman next, why would he be sparring a southpaw? I'm just saying. So one thing we do know is Errol Spence is returning to the ring soon. Whether it be April, May, June, we don't know yet. Originally they said April, but we know it's a lot of shit going on in April. You got Tank Davis fighting in April on pay-per-view. So if anything, you could say, well, is it going to be May? Well, Canelo, I believe, is coming back in May. Now that leaves June. Juneteenth could be a big deal for Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. That would be a huge deal. That would be incredible to see those two brothers fight on Juneteenth or that weekend. That's phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Now that Juneteenth being a official holiday, these are two Black American fighters, the two best fighters on the planet, in my opinion, outside of Jermell Charlo. You feel me? And again, Errol Spence has been in the gym. We know Terrence Crawford has been consistently in the gym. That dude don't never really leave the gym. You dig what I'm saying? And again, Errol Spence sparring Jarvis Shepard, who is a southpaw. That makes me think. That makes me think. Why are you sparring a southpaw if you're fighting Keith Thurman next? I don't know. That makes me think. And I would also believe that if the Keith Thurman fight was really gonna happen next, I would think that they would announce that shit already. You know, I ain't heard Keith Thurman come out and say nothing. Now that could also mean that they working out all the kinks and all the shit getting worked out behind the scenes, which could be a good thing for the fight happening for Errol Spence and Keith Thurman. However, I know Errol Spence coming back soon. I just don't know who it's going to be against. But the fact that he's sparring a southpaw today, we ain't talking about months ago. We talking about that man was in the gym today sparring a southpaw. That leads me to believe he might be getting ready for a Terrence Crawford fight. Now, D Lucky, talk to me real quick, because I know you're a huge Terrence Crawford fan. We know that the WBO has ordered the fight versus Rocha, right? I think that's something that Terrence Crawford maybe have helped facilitate when he went to go meet up with Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins, Golden Boy. He sat down with them. I believe he was at the fight for at Rocha's fight. What do you think about, like, how does Terrence Crawford get out of that? How does Terrence Crawford get out of the WBO ordering him to fight Rocha? Anybody? Can y'all tell me that? How does Terrence Crawford get out of that? Said Jarvis can mimic almost anybody. Facts. Hey, no, that shit real, Mr. Munt. That shit real. Jarvis can mimic. He can mimic anybody, bro. Jarvis is the perfect sparring partner. Even though he got real talent and compete on the world class level, he can mimic anybody, bro. That shit is incredible. The perfect sparring partner. Said, okay, there we go. Shout out to the brother Sean Jones, said by paying step aside money. That's facts. That's facts. He could pay some step aside money. Y'all know how Terrence Crawford is with money, though. I don't know. I don't know if Terrence Crawford gonna do it, man. I don't know if he gonna come up off them ducats. Said if he fight for Undisputed, you would think that after, you would think that rule would apply if he had already had the fight planned first. But again, I think if he does make the fight with Errol Spence and it becomes official and it's for Undisputed, I think that's something that they'll allow. Said by fighting Spence. Said Earl don't want that Thurman fight. I agree. Facts. Lorenzo don't want the Rocha fight. Absolutely wrong. Let me see. Shout out to the brother Gladiator Channel in the building. Said fight for Undisputed. Undisputed trumps mandatory. That's facts. That's facts. Something he don't want to do. No, that's facts. Undisputed does trump mandatories, but I just feel like it's some bullshit going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the WBO would pull some slick shit, and Terrence Crawford would be the type of motherfucker to allow it, when really he got another option. You know what I'm saying? But I hope that ain't the case. I hope that ain't the case. It seemed like they talking behind the scenes, man, but I'm not finna come out here and say it's a fight. I'm not finna say it's anything official until it's official. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna act as if the fight is about to be made, but you know, we could talk about possibilities. But I do think it's quite ironic that Errol Spence has not announced his fight with Keith Thurman. That he's today, as of March, what's today? March 3rd, March 2nd. As of March 2nd, March 3rd, whatever it is, he is sparring a southpaw. So that's major to me. And Terrence Crawford hasn't announced a fight neither, even though he was just recently ordered to fight Rocha. I think they can pay him some step aside money. You know, I'm pretty sure Oscar gonna want to get broke off. Said they gonna promote the Spence Crawford fight on Creed 3. I can see that. I'm going to see that Saturday. So I'm excited to see what Terrence Crawford is looking like in the movie. You know, hopefully he has some lines. Hopefully he has some lines and they didn't just like give him a cameo appearance and shit. You know, hopefully they actually like let him get some lines and like actually gave him a character role. I think that'd be dope as hell. Because like what they call him, what's his name supposed to be, like Lorenzo Nightmare something? That's a good, like that shit sound like Terrence Crawford. I think he'll play that role perfect. Said Lorenzo can't read. Hey, A17, bro, you wild, bro. say he ain't got more. Say he ain't got more than 6 lines. Hey, bro, you wild, dog. Said, shout out to my brother Eric R. He said, as foul as Bud been moving, I like to believe that deep down he wants to fight Earl. I think he honestly believes he can win. Yeah, I think Terrence believes he can win. I believe that. You know, I think he believes he can win. But I also believe that Terrence Crawford is reluctant because he knows that it's a big chance that he can take his first L. I think Terrence Crawford believes he can win. But the difference between fighting Errol Spence and everybody else is that I think Terrence Crawford understands the risk. And he trying to get compensated for it. Like, he trying to get like some wild ass guarantee. I think hopefully all that shit done with. Hopefully he came to his senses and they like can work something out. But I don't think Terrence Crawford believes in himself as much as Errol Spence believes in himself for that fight. I think versus anybody else, Terrence Crawford, he like a god. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of mentality he have. He go into the fight like a god. Like, this motherfucker can't fuck with me. But for Errol Spence, though, I think he finally realized that I can lose this fight. And all the boogeyman shit that everybody been like putting on me, like been saying I'm a boogeyman, I'm the greatest fighter of this era, I'm shoe in for the Hall of Fame, all that shit. His fans think he like God and shit. I think that Terrence Crawford, he don't want to lose that. He don't want to lose that mystique. And he knows that when he fight Errol Spence, all that shit that everybody said is going to have to be put to the test. And if he take that L, I think y'all know Terrence Crawford don't like to lose. Terrence Crawford don't like to lose. He's extremely competitive, and he got a huge fucking ego. And if he get his ass whooped versus Errol Spence, that man might, I pray that this ain't the case, but that man might go into a deep depression. Terrence Crawford, if he get his ass whooped versus Errol Spence, man, I hate to be in the car riding home with him. I hate to be in the car riding home with Terrence Crawford after he done got his ass whooped. I don't want to be in the car with him. And I don't want him to be driving. He fuck around and flip that whole car over and everybody die. Real talk. I wouldn't want him driving, and I wouldn't want to be sitting next to him neither. You dig what I'm saying? I think Errol Spence willing to put it all on the line. Like, Errol Spence don't want to lose. He's competitive as well, but he got that dog in him. But I think he actually believes that he's better than Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? I think Errol Spence actually believes that he gonna whoop Terrence Crawford ass. And I just wish that, I wish Terrence Crawford would have accepted that deal, man. I really do. To this day, I still haven't had anybody that really gave a real explanation on why Terrence Crawford didn't take that deal, why he didn't sign that contract. To this day. Because when you think about it, look, it was a percentage deal, which basically it's uncapped. You dig what I'm saying? You get 30, what was it? 60-40 or was it 65-35? You get your, let's say it was 60-40. You get your 40, I get my 60. If the fight sell, if they do $20 million gate, and then the pay-per-view revenue is upwards of $30-40 million, $50 million, you get your percentage. It was 65-35. Hold on, D Lucky. You said 65-35 of nothing. So D Lucky, let me ask you this: do you think if Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence fought, they not gonna generate $1? D Lucky, this how I'm finna prove to you that I believe Errol Spence is more confident in himself. Answer me this, D Lucky. You telling me if Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence fought, they not gonna generate no money? They not gonna generate no revenue. Keep in mind, D Lucky, Earl not getting no guarantee neither. They both are betting on themselves in that match. Whatever the total revenue is, you get 65% and you get 35%. Errol Spence said, I was cool with my projections. You know, because he got representation. He got people that's like showing him, okay, look, so after all expenses, this is what we projecting the total revenue to be. This what your 65% could look like. Errol Spence saw that shit. He was like, cool, I'm down. Sign me up. I'm finna whoop this motherfucker ass. Sign me up. I'm finna whoop his ass and take home a bag. Terrence Crawford, on the other hand, he don't even know what that 35% mean because he's so used to being coddled with guaranteed purses from Top Rank for not fighting nobody. Now he's finally finna get in there and fight a top guy, and it's a lot of questions. It's the same thing that happened with Manny Pacquiao. Said Bud wanted to see his. Earl probably knew what he was getting. But D Lucky, Earl don't know what he getting. It's 65%. Earl has his team work out projections. So Terrence Crawford got to have his team work out projections. He not represented by Al Heyman. So if you know you get 35%, have your lawyers and your people talk about your projections. Like, okay, so based off what we think the fight can do, this what you could potentially make from your 35%. How you say he don't trust PBC, which is a proven powerhouse in boxing, but you trust BLK Prime, who an unknown entity that never put on no big fights. You can't, come on, D Lucky. You see what I mean? This is why I believe Errol Spence believe he gonna whoop Terrence Crawford ass. He more confident. Terrence Crawford he got doubt in his heart, bro. He got doubt in his heart because the same shit happened with Manny Pacquiao. Every time he get ready to fight somebody that could potentially whoop his ass, it's a problem. But D Lucky, just tell me, if you don't trust PBC, how you gonna make the fight? That's what I don't understand. See, D Lucky, I still haven't had nobody really explain to me why he didn't sign that deal, bruh. Ain't nobody getting no guarantee. Everybody betting on theyself. Even the people who putting up the fight betting on theyself. Showtime, Espinoza, Al Heyman, all them betting on theyself. Said it was a percentage, so they both didn't know what they was getting. Bud just didn't take the fight. That's a fact. It's a percentage deal, bro. D Lucky, if me and you do business, right? Let's say we go into business together. I say, I'm going to get, let's say you put up the bulk of the money, right? You put up the bulk of the initial investment. So you going to get 65%. We going in on a real estate deal or something, whatever it might be. We opening up a small business. You put up the bulk of the initial investment, so you going to get 65. I'm going to get my 35. Now, we don't know what the shit going to generate. This business deal could generate $100 million. You get your 65, I get my 35. It could generate 50 million. You still get your 65, I get my 35. But if I'm going in saying, man, I don't know what it's like, I need a guarantee. Again, come on, bro, you betting on yourself. Terrence Crawford didn't want to bet on himself. That's the difference. Errol Spence said, I'm cool with what I was looking at getting. D Lucky, can you explain to me what happened with the Manny Pacquiao fight? Can anybody tell me why Terrence Crawford didn't sign the Manny Pacquiao fight? Remember, Bo Mac already admitted that Manny Pacquiao signed. Why didn't Terrence Crawford sign? How come when it come down to his biggest fights, there's always a problem contractually? I don't think, and that's the one thing that I be, people be thinking I'm trying to say, y'all know I like Terrence Crawford, man. I like him as a fighter, but people be trying to make it seem like I'm shitting on him. And I just be trying to figure out why he ain't coming at Errol Spence with the same energy when the fight is realistic. When he was with Top Rank and he knew he already had his guaranteed $3 million every fight, regardless of who he fought, which over the course of his career, Terrence Crawford has amassed a nice ass bag. Like, Terrence Crawford he robbed the fuck out Bob Arum. And then on the back end, after he left him, took him to court to try to sue him for another bag. Hey, Terrence Crawford be finessing. I ain't gonna lie. Terrence Crawford be finessing. Said Bo Mac had something to do with that. But Bo Mac is his manager, though. Of course he got something to do with it. Why didn't he have Bo Mac doing his business with the Spence fight? It's some bullshit, man. It said it's Bo Mac, it's Bob, it's Black Fans, it's PBC, it's Al Heyman, it's Thurman, it's Danny, it's Ugas, it's everybody but Lorenzo. Like, nah, I don't think he was scared of Pac-Man. Remember, D-Lucky? Go back and check my video. I defended Terrence Crawford. I came out and defended him. I was like, man, Terrence Crawford will beat the shit out of Pacquiao. People was getting on my ass talking about, bro, you ain't see the video of Bo Mac saying he didn't sign the contract? I was trying to ignore that shit because I seen all these other fans trying to talk down on a Black American fighter who I'm a big fan of. I'm like, nah, y'all ain't finna just talk about my boy like this when I know he'll whoop Manny Pacquiao old ass, beat him from pillar to post. You feel me? But the fact remains is that, bruh, he didn't sign a contract. You feel what I'm saying? He didn't sign a contract. So I just want to know, what does it take? Like, why did Manny sign, but Bud didn't sign? Shout out to the brother Captain. He said, people like to say Bud wanted transparency from PBC, but he was given all the info that he was entitled to. Seems like he didn't have the proper representation to translate the info into hard numbers. That is a fact. Everybody please read Captain's chat. I'm going to read it again. He said, people like to say Bud wanted transparency from PBC, but he was given all the information that he was entitled to. Seems like he didn't have proper representation to translate the info into hard numbers. That's a fact. Because if we're going into business together and you get a percentage and I get a percentage, all you can go off of is projections. Nobody knows ain't nobody getting no guarantee, and nobody knows what the hell is gonna happen. This shit could generate $100 million. It could generate $20 million. But you gonna get your 30, you gonna get your 35, I'm gonna get my 65, whatever that is. So I say that to say this. I'm hoping this time around when Errol Spence does spin that block, and when have we known Errol Spence to not do what he say he gonna do? You feel what I'm saying? When he does spin that block and revisits that situation with Terrence Crawford, I'm just hoping and praying that Terrence Crawford has a change of heart or representation this time to be able to translate, bro, what his 35% is going to look like. That's what I'm hoping. He said, I don't know what else you need to see. Oh, man. He said, Bud treating Earl like he... said, Bud treating Earl like he ass catch him. Bud big chillin', living his life, making Earl watch and go through hoops to get him to fight. Yeah, bro. And I don't know, maybe this could have been a tactic for Terrence Crawford the whole time, because you got to look at it like this. Errol Spence had just fought Yordenis Ugas that April. Had gotten his first stoppage in the last, 4 fights. It was, 3 fights since he had a stoppage? It was Mikey, Sean, and Danny. So he went 3 fights without a stoppage. And then he got Ugas in there and gave him a beat down of the century, right? Terrence Crawford saw that shit, and he was like, you gotta be out your mind. If you think I'm finna hop in the ring with this dude and they ain't fought in a year, you goddamn crazy. That's what I think Terrence Crawford was thinking. So maybe he was strategically trying to set this shit up to where, let me get another fight in real quick. And then let me make it seem like I want to fight Earl. And then boom, hit him with something over his head real quick. I got to fight. He ain't got shit going on because he been waiting on me. Now let me catch him when he been out the ring for a year. Now, if that's the thing, I ain't mad at you, because, art of deception, like Cambosa said. The art of war. You feel me? So maybe he trying to manipulate the time so he could, catch Errol Spence while he ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit, I think Earl gonna be ready, but, he could try to catch him, while he been out the ring for a year. Catch Earl on a layoff. And then on top of that, he know Earl ain't the type that'll be like, man, I need a tune up. And he know Earl gonna fight him. He trying to take advantage of Earl being the type of motherfucker to let his nuts hang. He trying to take advantage of that. But I think he's gonna bite him in the ass. Shout out to the OG Mr. Monk, back in that super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, would you say at least 500,000 pay-per-view at minimum? $40 million. Hold on. Mr. Monk breaking out these numbers for y'all. Hold up. He said, would you say at least 500,000 pay-per-views at minimum? Which would be the equivalent of $40 million revenue just from the pay-per-view. Plus the live gate, which could be crazy as well. We talking 10, 15, maybe $20 million at the gate. Then we ain't even talking about merchandise and all that shit. We just talking about tickets. You feel what I'm saying? Said, this fight gonna make some bread. That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, D-Lucky, let me tell you this. Let me ask you this. Now, you telling me, with them numbers that Mr. Monk just gave us, you telling me you ain't think? He said speculation. Hey, D-Lucky, you telling me you ain't finna sign up for 35% of that? Shout out to my brother Jay Einstein in the building. What's good? Hey, D-Lucky, he said, my boy said, and that's just the tickets. But look, hold up. You telling me, D-Lucky, that you ain't finna sign up for 35% of that? Come on now. What Mr. Monk, them projections that Mr. Monk just gave me, I'll sign up for 15% of that. I'll give me 15% of that. You feel me? I'm walking home with a cool 5 million. I'm walking home with a cool 5 minimum. Which is on paper, around the top of what he said possibly. Hey, you funny, bro. He said possibly projections. Hey, that's one thing about hardcore Terrence Crawford fans, bro. They don't be wanting to admit, boy. They don't be wanting to admit when they wrong, man. Y'all off the chain, bruh. They don't be wanting to admit when they wrong, bruh. Said that mentality keep you scoring from the plug instead of being a plug. Big facts. Ooh, say 817 talking that talk. He said that type of mentality keep you getting it from the plug instead of becoming the plug. Ooh, say that boy talking that talk, ain't he? That's some real shit though. D Lucky said, so y'all speaking facts. Yes, D Lucky, the fact is that he was offered 35% and he turned it down. That's a fact. Now, what the fight would have generated or will generate, that's a projection. Hold on. See, come on, D Lucky. Come on, bro. You can't be playing these mental gymnastics and semantics, bro. You said, come on, bro. So D Lucky, you saying, so you telling me, all right, let me ask D Lucky. Keep it 100. Keep it 100, D Lucky. How much, like, be real, bro. Based off what you know about boxing from a business perspective, from the point of view of a fan, what you've seen, what you've heard these fighters talk about in terms of money, contracts, and shit, guarantees, stuff like that, and what you've seen the recent pay-per-view numbers do. D Lucky, can you give me a soft number on what you project that fight to do overall, including gate and pay-per-views? D Lucky, please. Real talk. Just give me just a soft number. Give me what you think they're going to generate on pay-per-view and what you think they would generate at the gate for Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Said with streaming going on? Yes, including streaming. Include streaming. Tell me what your projections are for the pay-per-view and then gate-wise, how much revenue you think that they could generate in today's climate. Okay, so 350,000 on pay-per-view. That's realistic. And then what about the gate, D Lucky? How much they do on ticket sales? Just throw a soft number. 10 million? I think they do more, but that's not bad. 10 million is actually really good. So let's say they do 10 million at the gate. I know that A1, that's low for this fight. It's low for this fight. A17, but let's oblige. That's low. 10,000? $10,000? See, come on now. He trolling. Come on, D Lucky. You trolling now. 10,000. Come on, bro. Errol Spence was doing $10,000 gates when he was 1-0. Like, come on, bro. He was doing 10,000 gates in his professional debut. All right, so we talking about 10 million. All right. So you telling me that 350,000 pay-per-view buys going for $79.99 a pop, and on top of that, they doing 10 million at the gate. You saying that that's nothing? D Lucky, you saying that's nothing? Because you saying 35% of nothing. That's nothing to you? So with the I don't have my calculator with me. Somebody give me matter of fact, somebody give me some rough numbers on that 350,000. Somebody give me some rough numbers on that 350,000 times $79, $79.99 a pop. What that look like? So D Luck had already said 10 million at the gate. What that look like, somebody? 350,000 pay-per-views times $79.99. What that look like? He said it's still a possibility. We need guaranteed 2 million at least. Bruh, so now you Bud representation? Now you Bud representation. Come on, man. So somebody said 2.7 million, basically $2.8 million. I figured it'd be more than that. So we're saying 2.8 million just off the, hold on, so 40 million pay-per-view, 15 million live gate, 5 million concession. So D Luckett, you saying that's nothing? That's crazy, D Luckett. That's crazy. Said I want to see the fighters in the ring, pay them something. G Luckett, I just wish your favorite fighter was more confident in himself. I just wish Terrence Crawford was as confident as Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully this time around, you know, we gonna see it, bro. We gonna see it. I just think it's crazy. But remember what I said, y'all. I said, and Errol Spence said that too. He said, after I get this third belt, we gonna see who holding up the fight. We gonna see who holding up the fight after I get this third belt. What Errol Spence do? He went in the ring, whooped Yordenis Ugas' ass, snatched that strap up off of him along with his eye socket, and he said, he got on the mic and said, fuck all that shit you talking about, Jim Gray. Y'all know what fight I want. It's the fight that everybody else want. It's the fight I want. I want Terrence Bud Crawford. And I'm coming to take his motherfucking belt. That's what Errol Spence said. And then after that, he proceeded to go directly into negotiations with Terrence Crawford. Shout out to my brother Jay Cooley in the building. What's good? Appreciate you for pulling up. Right after that, he proceeded to go into negotiations with Terrence Crawford. Offered him a deal. They revised the contract multiple times. Terrence Crawford didn't sign. Yeah, said it was 28 million. I knew it was way more than that. Way more than 2 million. I'm like, come on now. Don't shortchange me now. I'm trying not to believe this about Terrence Crawford, but his actions over the last couple of years have led me to believe that he trying to get over. You feel me? It seemed like Terrence Crawford trying to get over. You know what I'm saying? Hey, D Luckett. So look, there you go. Mr. Munt just explained it. Said if they only get the 40 and the network get the rest of the 26 or 14 million or get the rest of that money, if they split $40 million, 35% of that for Terrence Crawford is still going to be 2 to 3 times more than what he ever made in his career. So D Luckett, how can you say 35% of nothing? It's starting to seem like Terrence Crawford was getting over. It seemed like Terrence Crawford just used to getting over, bro. He want to fight the least amount of competition for the most money he can get. That way you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You get a big ass, you build up your bag, and you build up this mystique. You build up this mystique as like the monster, you know what I'm saying? This guy who knocked everybody out, and you get your bag without having to really let your nuts hang and put your title on the line versus some real competition. You know what I'm saying? You get to put. I said D Lucky with the but Illuminati. Yo, he said D Lucky the Freemason with the but Illuminati. He said I suck at math, but I can use a calculator. Hey, no, don't it feel like Terrence Crawford getting over? Don't it seem like he getting over? If I was because I'm a Terrence Crawford fan, but I'm not as big as a Terrence Crawford fan to the point where like I'm delusional and shit, right? So I feel like if I was on the level of Terrence Crawford fan as y'all, as like people like D Lucky, bruh, I'd be feeling bamboozled, bruh. Like I'd be feeling like, nah, bruh, this dude finessing me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he finessing me. Like to this day, I feel embarrassed even saying this, bruh. I bought the Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul fight. Now, only because it was $50 and because it was Floyd. You know what I'm saying? But that was the first time I ever paid for a Floyd Mayweather fight and I felt like I got robbed. To this day, I want Showtime to give me my money back. That's the first time I ever paid for a Floyd fight and felt like I got robbed. I was like, bro, why I pay for this shit, man? That shit pissed me off. That's how I would feel if I was a Terrence Crawford fan. I don't see how y'all don't feel that shit, bro. Like, how y'all don't feel robbed? How y'all don't feel hoodwinked? Bamboozled? Led astray? How y'all don't feel that, bro? I'm telling you, one fight that I bought from Floyd versus Logan Paul, bro, for $50, I felt like I got robbed, bro. I was mad as hell after that shit. I'm like, bro, I ain't buying another one. Not from Floyd. It's over with. So I'm like, how does y'all Terrence Crawford fans, how y'all not feeling like that? Because he been with the American fight. I bought that fight. I low-key felt robbed. I felt robbed in that fight. I'm like, bruh, I ain't paying for another Terrence Crawford fight unless it's against ERROL Spence or somebody that I want to see. I felt robbed with the American fight. I just don't understand like how y'all not feeling robbed. Like how y'all okay with Terrence Crawford continuously getting over. Next thing you know, he gonna be 37, 38 years old and nobody know what he looked like against the best. You know what I'm saying? Said everyone is different by all means. That's true. That's true. But I'm just saying, bro, I felt like I got robbed, bro. He said I did too. But he said, hey, yeah, bro. I like, man, look. I don't see how y'all do it, bro. Like, I can't continue to support that. You know? I'm always show love to Terrence Crawford and watch his fights. But I can't, I can't continue to let him rob me. Like I told you, man, the American pay-per-view, I felt robbed. It wasn't no way in hell I was finna buy the Avenesian fight. Ain't no way. If I would have bought that fight, I wouldn't even have blamed Terrence Crawford. I'd have blamed my damn self. Said they should feel like Canelo fans. Oh, yeah, Canelo fans been robbing the fuck out them. Boy, Canelo done stole so much money, it don't even make no sense. That man done stole so much money, bruh. Canelo done stole so much money. And Terrence Crawford, he ain't too far. I mean, he ain't pulled off the heist that Canelo pulled off, but Terrence Crawford done pulled off some heists. He been robbing Bob Arum for years. And then, like I told you, even after he left Bob Arum, he tried to rob him again. Took him to court. That man, Terrence Crawford, man, say, hey, man, this dude, he be trying to finesse, bro. It just seems like that's all he do is just trying to get over. Yeah, you can fight, and we know you good, bro, but damn. Can we at least see you put it all on the line so we can feel like you earned your money? You know, I ain't saying he don't deserve what he getting and all that, but man, I feel like he robbing. Terrence Crawford be getting over, man. I ain't mad at him. You know, get your money, bro. Get your money. I'm just saying, you know. He said Bud is Dr. Thunder. And Bud is Dr. Thunder and Earl is Pepsi. Hey, but I ain't heard of Dr. Thunder in a long ass time. Said it took him to court because he wanted the Spence fight, right? Hold on, see what I mean, D Lucky? See, why you always see Terrence Crawford point of view? Look, bro. He said he took him to court because Bob Arum didn't get him the Spence fight. But that's only like a ploy. He really never wanted it, bro. He never really wanted the fight, bro. That was a strategic move to rob Bob Arum for some more money because he knew he was finna be a free agent for a little bit. He was like, shit, I'm out this contract now. At least on my way out, let me get a little bit more. Let me get a bag off you real quick. At least on my way out. Because he knew he was finna be a free agent. So he needed something to hold him over. Come on, bruh. He needed something to hold him over, bruh. Man, I'm starting to realize, bruh, that's all Terrence Crawford. He said, what's in your Merlot tonight? Man, I've been drinking just straight water, bruh. He say, what's in your Merlot? Hey, man, said, shout out to the brother Observe and Analyze. Say he trying to catch Earl when it gets hard for Earl to make 147. Facts. Facts. Said he gonna make me pull out some Hennessy. That's what I need, bro, because Terrence Crawford be stressing me out, bro. He be stressing me out sometimes. I be like, man, can we just please have a fight, bro? Can you just please sign, bro? Please. And see, it's crazy because with the whole Manny Pacquiao situation, I was going to bat for Terrence Crawford. I was going to bat for him, bro. And then he let me down by not signing the contract. But then what happened? Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence tie in a deal. Now, we know why the fight didn't actually take place. But how come Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao was able to just get a deal done like that? But then when it's Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao, oh, the money ain't there. We need to make sure the money gonna be there first. But what you mean the money ain't there? Pacquiao already signed. It come down to Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Ain't no guarantee. But Errol Spence signed his portion of the deal. Nobody getting a guarantee. Y'all both getting percentages off a big ass, off a huge projection. I don't understand. This is another great question. D Lucky, let me ask you this. Shout out to my brother D Lucky, man. Let me ask you this. Do you believe Terrence Crawford was serious at the weigh-in when he swung at Jose Benavidez? Do you think he really tried to hit Jose Benavidez, or was he pulling back and just tried to make it look like he was going to do something? Or do you really think he wanted to hit it? So lyrics say, nah, he stepped back. D Lucky, you say you think he wanted to? All right. I'm glad you say that, my friend. So if he was willing to risk his bag, guaranteed, if he was willing to risk that bag by hitting Jose Benavidez in the face at the weigh-in and the whole fight is off, basically willing to fight for free. Because that's what it was going to be. It was going to be a free fight. Why you can't fight arguably the pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Errol Spence Jr., for an actual percentage? You're not getting no guarantee, but you're putting it all on the line to fight a guy that you really want to, that you say you really want to fight. D-Lucky, tell me how that makes sense. How you willing to fight Jose Benavidez at the weigh-in for free, but you won't fight Errol Spence for a real percentage, for the biggest projection of your career? How you explain that, D-Lucky? How you explain that? Shout out to the OG Mr. Munn back in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, I rock with D-Lucky. I've seen certain Bud fans transform to something unrecognizable, but D-Lucky has always kept the exact same energy. That's facts, bro. That's why I fuck with him, bro. That's why I fuck with him. Him, my boy Tex Rock, my brother Steven Pamphile in the building. You know what I'm saying? When they be pulling up, you feel me? Yeah, bro. I like guys like that, man. You know, D-Lucky stay on his square. You know, he don't be on no bullshit, man. He say his piece, and that's just what it is. You feel me? I respect it. You know, we disagree on the topics. You know, we agree on some things too. But yeah, I fuck with D-Lucky, man. I always been a supporter of the channel, man. I always come through and say his piece. I fuck with him. But he said, D-Lucky said, come on. He said, come on, man. He human. Come on, bruh. Shout out to the Queen Neek J in the building. Appreciate you for pulling up and gracing us with your presence. Thank you. Make sure y'all subscribe to Queens of the Ring on Neek J's channel. Shout out to Neek J and Boxiana. Always put on a phenomenal show on Friday nights. I think y'all doing y'all do like the whole weekend, don't you? I know Fridays for sure, but I be seeing y'all come on live like Sunday night, Saturday night sometimes, if I'm not mistaken. Make sure y'all subscribe to Queens of the Ring. Phenomenal show. Said, these brothers got a million excuses. Hey, D-Lucky, nah, for real. So you saying, so he willing to fight Jose Benavidez for free, but he won't fight Errol Spence for a real percentage? I don't understand. She said Friday and Sunday. Fridays and Sundays. Y'all make sure y'all tune in to Queens of the Ring Friday nights and Sunday nights. You know what I'm saying? But that don't, I mean, that just don't make sense to me, D-Lucky. It don't make no sense. You feel me? That's why I'm trying to tell you, bro. I think you just caught up in the vapors. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford, man, he got you hypnotized, bro. He got you hypnotized. Like, who sung that song? Who was that? Akon? Akon and who was that? Akon and Plies? Bro, he got you hypnotized, bro. Come on. They got you hypnotized, bro. You mean to tell me he willing to fight Jose Benavidez for free, but he won't fight Errol Spence for a bag? Wow. I never understand it, bro. Hey, I never understand it, dog. But look, I want to get y'all thoughts on a couple of fights, man. Who y'all got out of the Caleb Plant and David Benavidez? He said D-Lucky see shit like Tevin Farmer. Oh man, come on, bruh. A17 don't got no filter. He said Jay Einstein said, is a bag worth losing a damn eye? Hey, that's a valid question, Jay Einstein. That's a valid question. Is that money worth losing your eye? said plant by stop it. Well, no. My buddy said plant by decision, and I got people saying David by stoppage. So Soul Lyric got Caleb by decision. Eric R got David by stoppage. D Lucky got David by stoppage. Mr. Munn said I got David. Plant gas tanks up. I agree. Plant by majority decision. Okay. I'm excited about that fight. I'm really excited. I think it has a potential. I think both fighters could possibly get exposed in this fight. Well, I mean, we already seen Caleb Plant exposed. I think David Benavidez. I'm leaning towards David Benavidez. Y'all know how I feel about Caleb Plant. Y'all know I don't like that whole ass shit he did in the ring with Canelo. I had to unfollow him on Instagram because of that. Yes. Yeah. I unfollowed Caleb Plant for that friendly ass shit he did with Canelo. Yeah. I had to unfollow him, bro. I ain't like that. You feel what I'm saying? But he's still a good fighter. I think he has a style that could expose David Benavidez for his lack of foot movement and boxing ability. His lack of head movement. But, as Mr. Munt just said, Caleb Plant gas tank is so trash late in fights that I think he's ultimately going to get walked down. And again, we've already seen him fold. We already seen him fold and lay down. He literally laid down in the ring with Canelo. Laid down. Gave it up. Was being extra friendly. Trying to have a conversation. Seeking validation from your enemy. You don't seek validation from your enemy. In the midst of war, in the midst of the battle, he's seeking validation from his enemy. I think that what Caleb Plant did in the ring with Canelo was just as revealing as what Teofimo Lopez said to himself after that fight versus Sandor Martin. I think Caleb Plant's friendliness is it's the same as Teofimo Lopez questioning himself after the Sandor Martin fight. That's something that you can never come back from. When people see that weakness, when your future opponents see that weakness and they capable of exploiting it, you can't come back from that because you already showed your cards. Caleb Plant already showed he got hoe in his blood. And I fuck with him. No disrespect. Well, I used to. No disrespect. I still respect the skills, though. Like, I think he's a good fighter. And he's coming off of his best performance. Highlight reel knockout over a credible fighter. Like Darrell. But he already showed he got hoe in his blood. Teofimo Lopez already showed he got hoe in his blood. You dig what I'm saying? I already showed he got hoe in his blood. You feel me? You can't really come back from that. That's hard to bounce back from. And when you get in there with somebody like a David Benavidez or Teofimo Lopez is about to fight Josh Taylor. Even though Josh Taylor had that, that iffy-ass performance versus Jack Catterall, I think Taylor is one of those guys who can exploit that hoe. He can pull that hoe up out you. I think Josh Taylor can pull that hoe up out Teofimo Lopez. We already seen it before. That's one thing, bro. You never want to... You see Regis Prograis, he started salivating at the idea of fighting Teofimo Lopez because he see that hoe in him. You don't let a predator see that, smell that weakness up on you. You let a real predator see Darrell. I like Darrell. He was a good fighter, but he was older. I don't really think he was in predator mode like that. I think he was more so in let me get this check mode before I get up out the sport. But when you let a real predator see that you got that hoe in your blood, they not gonna let you get away with that. Shout out to my brother Knockout Boxing 86 TV in the building, man. I appreciate you for pulling up. What's good, man? Make sure y'all subscribe to Knockout Boxing 86 TV, one of the best boxing channels on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? My brother got the debate series going. You feel me? Got the live shows popping. Incredible, man. Make sure y'all subscribe if y'all haven't subscribed already, bro. I appreciate you for pulling up. Incredible show. Said, yeah, but Reed just had me looking at him sideways a little bit this weekend. What happened this weekend, Nick J? I might have missed it. I'm sorry, man. What happened? What Reed just do? You know, but yeah, I'm leaning towards David Benavidez, man. I think David I don't think he gonna get tired. I think he gonna keep throwing punches in bunches, and Caleb Plant gonna try to box until he ain't got nowhere else to go, and he gonna get mashed out of there. That's what I think gonna happen. Who y'all think gonna win? Said he wasn't eager for that Matias smoke. I can see that. I can see how you can feel that way. I gotta watch the interview and see what he was talking about, see what his energy was like. But I can see how you could feel that way if he was kind of reluctant to say, I want to fight this guy or that guy. Because I think Reed is one of those dudes that'll fight anybody, to be real. You know what I'm saying? So if he was acting like that, I gotta see that interview and see what's going on, man. I hope he ain't going out like that. You feel me? But who y'all think wins out of Lopez and Josh Taylor? We got some good fights lined up, man. Some real good fights. Lopez, Josh Taylor. We got Inoue and Stephen Fulton. Y'all know as we get closer and closer to that fight, we're going to continue to break that down. Said Lopez can win. I definitely think it's a 50-50 fight. This is one of those situations, again, where it's a guy with extreme hand speed and punching power and explosiveness, and then you got another guy who's just overall a better fighter, just a better boxer. So, of course, Lopez is always dangerous, but I really like Josh Taylor. I think he's going to pull that hoe up out Lopez. And he a bigger guy. Lopez really never fought. He fought Nakatani, who was tall, but that was at 35. I think this the biggest guy that Teofimo Lopez ever been in the ring with. Said Josh Taylor, he a dirty fight. Yeah, I think he gonna pull that hoe. And look, we can say he dirty, but I know what you mean, Mr. Munt. I know what you mean. Basically, what you saying is Taylor is he's a crafty guy. Because it's only dirty if you get caught. If you don't get caught, then you just being crafty. So I think he gonna pull that hoe up out Lopez. He gonna pull that hoe up out him. Said Fulton. I can't wait for that Stephen Fulton fight, bro. I can't wait, dog. I'm loving. Do y'all see the trend that Devin Haney set? Y'all see the trend Devin Haney set? Let's get a young brother some props, man. Let's get that man his flowers. Like, Devin Haney really got these guys, like, not afraid to, like, put their motherfucking pride on the line, to put their record on the line, put their reputation on the line, let their nuts hang. Devin Haney really has set a standard for these guys. Like, bro, you can go overseas or to a different country, bro, and go be great, bro. You can do it. You can go be great, bro. They ain't always got to come over here. You can go be great if it takes that. If it takes that. If it causes for Stephen Fulton to have to go over to get that, get that bag and get that reputation, get that respect. Yeah, to be able to up his profile. Take that risk. Go do that. Tony Harrison going to Australia. fighting the undefeated Tim Tszyu. Go do that. Go do that. Said Earl need to do what Haney did. Earl already did what Haney did. He already did that. Even though at that time, you know, I mean, it was a similar situation. Errol Spence was a, you know, in America, he was a bigger star, but we know Kell Brook was bigger over there. For Undisputed, come on, man. Come on, D-Lucky. Stop playing. Said my guy Cool Boy about to become a star. All these people sleeping. I agree. I agree. But now, man, I love the fact that Devin Haney going on, because remember the conversation was, no, don't do it. You know, Devin, you're not going to win. They going to rob you. You got to knock them out. Don't take that deal. It was so much negativity in the air, so much doubt, so much pessimism, right? And then that man went over there not once, but twice. Got paid the most money he ever made in his career, became undisputed, raised his profile, fought on pay-per-view in another country. I mean, he checked off so many different things, became the youngest undisputed champion of all time. He checked off so much shit that now these other guys like Stephen Fulton, they like, and I peg Stephen Fulton as the type of guy that'll do that type shit anyway. But Devin Haney doing what he did, it gives you even more confidence. Like, bro, shit, if he can do it, I can go over there and do the same shit. I can do that same shit. Said Harrison need a fight like this. Yes, A17. This is a perfect fight for Tony Harrison. This is exactly what he needs to rejuvenate his career. If he ever wants to share the ring with Jermell Charlo again, this is the fight that he needs. And I've been listening to Tony Harrison, and I've been loving everything that I've been hearing, by the way. Tony Harris, I just love the maturity. I love the confidence. I just love how he carries himself. And I think Tony Harrison is going to be an incredible trainer even when he's done fighting. I love Tony Harrison. And y'all know Jermell Charlo is my favorite fighter. You know what I'm saying? He up there. I would love to see them do a part 3. And I know that Tony Harrison don't want anything more than to get back in the ring with Jermell Charlo. And this fight right here is the pathway for him to get there. It's the pathway for him to get to Jermell Charlo. This is literally a direct pathway to get back in the ring with Jermell Charlo and have an opportunity for Undisputed. I love that for Tony Harrison. Now, when he get in the ring, if he win, I think he should pull his victory off. And if he get back in the ring with Jermell Charlo, you feel me? Like, come on now. I feel like we know what Jermell gonna do. But again, it's still Tony Harrison. If he perform at a high elite level against Tim Tszyu, I think he goes back into that. It's 50-50 fight again. Because both of their first fights was competitive. So, I don't know, man. Shout out to the brother Mike Jones in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said, where you been, folk? He said, did you see Earl spin a block tweet on Twitter? Like recently? I haven't seen anything like today or yesterday. If it was the last couple of days, I didn't see. But I did see Errol Spence in the gym sparring today, which we talked about earlier in the show. On Alex Holly's channel, on his page on Instagram, he posted Errol Spence sparring Marvelous Jarvis, a southpaw, today in Dallas, Texas. He was sparring Marvelous Jarvis, who is a southpaw, which, you know, that could point in the direction of him getting prepared for Terrence Crawford. But we'll see. Again, we've been down this road before. Errol Spence offered a contract to Terrence Crawford. He declined. Just like he declined a Manny Pacquiao contract. Who knows what the fuck is going on with Terrence Crawford? I think he's just trying to get over on everybody, but I hope I'm wrong. Shout out to the OG Mr. Munt back in that super chat, coming through and showing love again. He said, Inoue has never sparred or fought a black fighter. Now he's fighting the most skilled black fighter in the division. The rhythm is just different. That's a fact. That's a fact. I didn't know he never sparred a black fighter before. I didn't know that. And if that's true, Mr. Munt, and I have no reason to doubt anything that you've ever said because you always come with that real shit. If that's true, that's a big deal to me. Because if you ain't never been in there with somebody like what you finna see when you get in there with Fulton, who can fight at every level, close up, on the inside, mid-range, can fight from long range, off the back foot, can bang with you if you want to bang. Stephen Fulton is one of the most complete fighters in the sport. He can do it all. Got defense, got offense. Stephen Fulton can do it all. And he got that foundational black American slickness that you just can't teach. That athleticism. You know, that sauce. You know, you feel me? That's something that man ain't never seen before. That's a problem. I think people sleeping on Fulton in that fight. I think people sleeping on Fulton in that fight. Said Josh Taylor gonna win, Inoue is gonna win. Okay. I think, man, all of like the Benavidez and Plant fight is 50-50. The Lopez and Taylor fight 50-50. The Inoue and Fulton fight 50-50. Bro, it's so many 50-50 fights, bro. So many. Like, this is what we need in the sport, bro. We just need to get those marquee fights that we really want. It looks like we're finally getting Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, which is awesome. Nick J said Jarvis on a card this weekend, I think. Okay. Oh, yes, he is. It's an event that's supposed to be in the city, I believe. So, man, I might have to follow through there and see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm going to watch Creed 3 on Saturday. It's going to be around like the evening time, so I'm going to check and see, man, what's going on with the Marvelous Jarvis fight. That might be a nice little event to follow through afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jarvis, man. You know, I've seen that he's recently picking back up his boxing. I know he's been training Lex. And, you know, he's been doing his social media, YouTube thing. Got a big following on YouTube. Think over 300, 400,000 subscribers, something crazy like that. You know, real good content. You know, got the Instagram going. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that he's getting back into his boxing shit. His professional career is like 5-0, 6-0. Really talented fighter, man, and well known around the city in boxing gyms and sparring, coming up in the amateurs. You know, real cool with Earl and Derrick James and just, you know, Charles Hadley, all the guys that came around, Maurice Hooker, all the guys that came up around here. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's dope that him and Earl still work together to this day. You know, anytime Earl need a look from a southpaw or anybody, Jarvis, he can mimic almost any fighter. You know what I'm saying? And he's naturally a southpaw, so, you know, that's always a resource that Earl has, and then vice versa. I mean, think about it from Marvelous Jarvis' perspective. You got Errol Spence that you could always like call up and, man, hey, let's get some work in the gym, bro. You got arguably the best fighter in the world at the tip of your fingertip that you could just call and say, let's go get in the ring and spar. That's crazy. Or you could just call him and get some game for him. Get some game from him. That shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's dope. That's dope as hell. Said we just need Earl. We just need the Earl Bud fight announcement next. Said this would be the best year in a long time. With all of these upcoming fights. I agree. This is definitely, if we had that fight happen this year, that fight, even without all of the other fights that we've been getting, which is great, and all the other fights that we have lined up, even without a few of those, if we had that fight this year would be one of the best years that we've seen in recent history. But with everything that we already got lined up, plus if we get both Tank and Ryan Garcia and Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford in the same year, yeah, this instantly is the best year of boxing in probably the last 10, 15 years, if we can go back that far. I know 10 years for sure. In the last 10 years, it wouldn't have been a better year in boxing for the fans if we get that fight along with. And then on top of that, we still have a possibility to get Tank Davis versus Devin Haney at the end of the year. Or Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson. I think, man, hey, 2023 could be that year. It's a Jordan year, man. It could be that year. A year for greatness. You know what I'm saying? A year for wins for all of us. You dig what I'm saying? For all of us in every aspect of life. This could be just a phenomenal year, man. I'm excited about it. So, you know, but as far as the Terrence Crawford and the Errol Spence shit, I'm not finna hold my breath. But, you know, I'm hoping for the best. You dig what I'm saying? Said Haney over Tank, Shakur over everybody. Ooh, that's a hot take, D. Lucky. Haney over Tank and Shakur over everybody. That's a hot take. And I'm not mad at it one bit. I'm not mad at it. I am not mad at it. But look, man, I'm finna go ahead and get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? My phone is about to die. And I don't want to leave y'all hanging like that. But, man, I want to appreciate and say thank you to everybody that pulled up, everybody that supported in the super chat, everybody in the regular chat, just chopping it up, having a conversation. I appreciate y'all, man. I try to do these lives whenever I get a chance, man. My work schedule has been crazy, like crazy. So it's easier for me to upload, like to have videos in advance and record them and then upload. And then I just try to stay engaged with y'all with the shorts and with also in the community. So stay tuned. Like if y'all don't get a live for a week or a few days, I'm trying to be better with that. If y'all don't get a video for a couple of days, pay attention to the community tab. It might be a poll, or it might be a question, or it might be a post. Pay attention to the shorts. Also, make sure you follow the Instagram as well, so that way we can stay engaged and continue to chop it up. You dig what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all, man. I hope y'all have a great night. You feel what I'm saying? I'll talk to y'all later on, man. Contender Regime Boxing.